all here have attend on the first sections. This section is all about the BIM theories. It's a bit heavy on BIM theories.
It's clear. His voice.
So I'm saying, yes.
Maria,
From here.
this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go on.
Okay, so in the ADAPT programs, I will only giving you guys about the BIM theories, meaning the BIM knowledge, but not that much on the technical. I think another people already giving you some technical sections, maybe about software or maybe about some process, technical process. My part will be introduce you a bit about the BIM knowledge, just like the first sections. I hope you guys on there on the first sections. May I ask, like, are you guys on there on the first section?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Okay. So if you remember the first section, that is one kind of introductions on BIM. We tried our section having design on the idea that we approach the people like the adapt people is a graduates, technicians, graduates who do not must have knowledge about the process, construction process, design process, or the project execution process. That's why the first section we are more focusing on the technology, or may help you guys feel a little bit interesting if you look at BIM at the technical part. But actually, BIM is not only about the technical. So the second section we're gonna talk more about the BIM process. Okay. So today the section name is the BIM term can help to understand about the BIM process. What we're gonna talk will be like first will be the BIM framework, ISO 19650. Yeah, but ISO 19650 is cover about 8 states. But today we only talk a little bit about the state number 1, 2, and 3 with the soft introductions. This can help you understand a little bit about when BIM starting, when BIM implementation starting. And we also talking more about some BIM terms, such as like EIR. EIR is standing for Exchange Information Requirements, or some play also consider call it as employer BIM information requirement. So this is we will talking about this later. And then we also talk about the BEP. BEP is BIM execution plan. We have two kinds of BEP. One is pre-contract and second is a post-contract. Then the third team BIM term we're talking will be MIDP, standing for Master Information Delivery Plans. So this is the kind of delivery plan, but we have to finalize what kind of information we need to deliver, what kind of product we're going to deliver, and this is the kind of plan. Another BIM term we're going to talk about this will be the CDE. So if we still have more time, I will help you guys to go a little bit deeper in BEP with some items like standards in BEP, methods in BEP, or procedure, or some other thing like level of information needs, and like team structure, project team structure. If we have time, this is optional. If we have time, so the structure, the discussion on the section will be look like on the graph on the right side. EIR will be the starting point to create the BEP and CD. Inside the BEP, they will have MIDP standards, LON, level information need, or team structure. So go back to the first sections. We have one slide define what is a BIM, what is the BIM definitions. So I have introduced one idea that from our team at Binh Digital Technology, we try to define BIM as the three factors: people, process, and technology. The first approach of section 1 is about technology. When we try to show you like BIMs is also one of the major parts creating the technology. But actually technology only cover 30% to help implementation, BIM implementation. The 70% will be laid down on the process. So you just have to do a little bit understand like actually BIM is more about the process. But of course we still need to have the people on any project before being already able to deliver it successfully just by the people, just by the human. At that time, no technology, no process, but we still been able to make the project success. So BIM is just try to introduce the new kinds of approach on the technology, on the process, but people still play a very important role. That's why people is cover 100%. So if we are counting on factor, we will have 200%. That is a value we can bring up for the new kinds of project delivery. The point is here is actually process can able to connect the two factor, people and technology. So without the process, this thing would be have a big gap between the people and technology. Okay. So when we're talking about the BIM framework, so like when you starting any new project, the first thing you need to care this will be the how to implement the BIM on the project. So that time you will have to searching what kind of BIM framework we need to follow it. To consider the BIM framework, no matter where, meaning like even KSA, India, Singapore, or any other country, what we need to consider will be three major areas. Let's go from the top to bottom. From the macro level, we always need to consider the nation standards or uh, global standards. Just as like if your KSA have some specific BIM standard, you also need to check like what kind of standard your country is using right now. Do we have any specify the minimum BIM requirements on your BIM standards or not? If your country do not have any specified BIM standards, then we can also refer some global standard like ISO 19650. This is the one's international standard right now have been tried to use from everywhere, any country. Even in India also, we are referring using the ISO 19650 over the nation standard. So the second part, after you are checking the requirement from the nation standards, we also need to look on the technical guides or specifications. Such as like you working right now for Supernatural. Actually, Supernatural already try to build up a lot of BIM guideline documents to guiding how to implementing the BIMs on project or how to deliver project on BIMs. We have the portal of HJ's Academies. In there, you can easy to find all kinds of document technical guidance on BIMs. In this document, we have to reference on the standards that organization have built, like with the SMEC or with the HA, in case we have a standard how to do BIM effectively, then we also need to follow it there. And so in the specific on project, like Neo project, if they already have some kind of planning how to use BIMs, obviously the owner will build up the kinds of standards, what they want, what they're expecting, or what they want the design consultant or contractor need to follow in. So this guys project standards you need to also need to be aware and following. So this is a project standards. The last one will be the templates or other supporting resource, meaning like on the technical part, such as like you are using Revit, you are using Tekla, or you using Civil 3D. So every tool you need to have some kind of uh, like how we call it. It will be like templates, like the guiding how to using the tool, how what kind of success like Revit, huh? Like how you are creating the model on Revit, what kind of process you are set up the model on Revit. So this kind of technical technology, technical guidance, you also need to aware like do our organization already have or do our project already have. Uh, in our case, SMEC and HJ, we work a lot of standards for productions. Like we have previous guidelines, we have the previous training sections on by video, by workshop. So that's one we need to following. So to build up the BIM framework for any project, this is three parts we need to look into. Beside the BIM framework, we also need to check on the BIM standards, just like I mentioned earlier about the nation. So this is a couple of BIM standards publishing on the market right now, on the global markets, not only any specific reason. So we have a two types of BIM standard. One is for process and second is for deliverable. For the process, you can reference if you want to discover more, I mean, If you want to discover more, we have a couple BIM standard for process, such as like BS 1192, BAS 1192 Part 2, BAS 1192 Part 3. This is for corporation or delivery project on public sector, meaning for government projects. But right now they already be replaced by the new standards ISO 19650. This is a this is could be considered as the new and relay for the on the British standard of 1192. And we have another standard for deliverable. Deliverable meaning like the product we need to we gonna delivery on any BIM project. So we have a couple of standards like the standard for IFC. IFC is a kind of plot mask on BIM, but it's also considered as the one of data schema we are using to sharing submit to the clients. We also have another standard for IFD's uniform mask, and we have a standard for Kobe and some other here. I could not like go through on this standard, but this slide can help you to understand to developing the BIM project. Maybe this is some good starting point. A little bit about the ISO 19650. ISO 19650 is considered as the global standard right now on BIM, and sorry, just 1 minute. I'm checking the slide. So this is helping to this type of standard is helping for global adoptions of BIM standards, meaning they try to release this document to using for the global BIM standards. And so they have a 6 path. And then as you can see right now, they already published for 4 paths, path 1, 2, 3, and 5. In very soon, they may release the path 4 and 6. This standards is not standalone. This have incorporate with another standard, like you see the image on below in here. So this ISO 19650 will be incorporated with the ISO 55000 and ISO 2150000 about access information management. Oh, I forgot. ISO 19650, their name is information management. So they will be guiding the project not only on the design process, also in the operation process, design construction process, not only the design construction process, they're also guiding on the operation phase, but incorporate with another standards for access information management. And the bigger one is ISO 9001 is organizational management. So this standard also incorporate with another standards, and you can try to find out more about that. Today we only able to giving you some concept about what is the BIM term on the BIM process and whether you can searching or diving more to get more detail. On the information management delivery. So in ISO 19650, they introduced us the project gonna be implement. The information developments or information delivery will be implemented on the 8th stage. The first day and the second stage is purely about developing project from before design. This is all about the work of clients. Here we in the ISO 19650 they call appointing party or project management units. With this color, what is this color? I forgot. This color is a client. You can understand like that. And the blue one is a lead appointed party. This appointed party you can consider as the main contractor. In the ISO 19650, they call that party as the lead consultants or lead appointed party. We can understand that's the lead consultant or contractor. This could be different. They have different kind of contract. If you have an ABC contract, they only have the one main contractor. Could be the contractor would be like the lead appointed party. But if you have a different kind of contract like design, bid build, then design will be delivery separately, and contractor the construction will be delivery in the separate. Then we have a two lead appointed party in different time. And appointed party, this will be considered as the BIM, the sub consultants. Most of the time, SMEC and SJ is a sub consultant. So we are actually the appointed party. The magenta color. So in the A stage of BIM delivery or information delivery of defined by ISO 19650, we gonna involving from the stage number 3 until number 7, until to when we hand over the project and close the project. So we understand a little bit about what is our job, what is responsibilities on each phase. Of course, each appointed party will be taking care for the whole process from tender, after tender until to the project close out. Let's take a look a bit deeper on the stage number 1 and 2. So stage number 1 and 2, like I mentioned earlier, that's all about the owner work. So in this, we have a couple of things. They have a couple of things need to be finalized. Just like you can see, they have a 5 topics that owner should be taking care. One of them is related directly to the BIM process. That is the topic number 5, when they have to establishing a common data environment or CDE. So couple of people who used to work with the BIM project before, they may confusing a bit when people talking about CDE. They thought CDE could be like BIM 360 or like the cloud platform, one single cloud platform like BIM 360. But actually it's not true. CD is bigger than that. It's also the cloud solution, cloud-based solution, but it's not only about the BIM 360. We're gonna talk a bit more detail on CD after that. But the main point pointing out here is CD actually is having set up from very early stage, from the stage number 1 when the project is still on the process of assessment and needs, meaning like they just client is just only try to access on the project, like is this good to invest on that project or not? Should they developing the project or not? That stage they already developing the CD. On the stage number 2 is for prepare for the document for tender, or they call invitation to tender. That time owner they do a lot of finalize the information that they want in the design and construction. So at that time they had to establish for the one kind of document called as exchange information requirements. So this is the EIR. This information requirement is basically like the owner have to define what information they want to be developing during the design and construction. And is this document can help them in the further, like for operations or for the stay after construction or not. So in this state, owner need to be taking look on the BIM very seriously. So you look on the BIM, define what is the item they want to have. And another topic they also need to working on, but we will not talking much on this section. In here, I also try to say like on the SMEC or HA, we mainly working on the stage number 6, 7, and 8, meaning like working on the collaborative productions of information. Like you can consider this is a process that we developing the BIM model or BIM informations, and then we deliver that in the stage number 7. We deliver the information model, and we close out the project. So actually, mainly as a consultant, we're only working on this stage, but we also should be aware about what is the thing having set up on the stage, early stage, stage number 1, 2. Stage number 3, this is still about the work under client. This is the after they invite the people, the organization for bidding the tender. So after the like the contractor has joined, giving some response or based on EIR. EIR, this is requirement information. So after they respond on that requirement information, client want to do some work, like they will be checking, they will evaluating the BIM execution plan. This is the execution plan. You can consider this is the response from the contractor about EIR. One of the items we're gonna talk about today, and that's from that they will select which team have a BIM capability to can do the project, and they give the contract to that person. That's organizations, and that's organization turn to be the least appointed party. This is the whole process how we have been involved from the early stage of the project. We just help you a little bit understand how the BIM have been developing on the project. Initiate on the project. So the information requirement of EIR, this kind of information is a point of information from the client. From that, we can developing the final output, such as like SMEC as a design consultant or Supernatural as a design consultant. Our final outputs will be design report or specification, programming, or timeline of project quantity, or we do some service on visualizations, and the final output is the drawing. Another side, some project we also doing at the BIM. So what we have to deliver at the BMU, we have to deliver the master programs and the quantity. So this on product will be how do we define the quality of this kind of product? That is laid out based on the EIR. All of this output is actually come from EIR. So this is a very important document. Is explain what is the client want, how the client wants. So how to build up the ER? So can build up the EIR first. ER will be developing from the OIR, standing for Organizational Information Requirement. This is the high level business related, meaning like very macro level. The information will be required from ministers, private owner organizations. They will giving us some requirement like strategy for asset management, or what they plan and investing on this project, like financial factors, some regulatory requirement from the governments, or some policy making from the government. So this on the high level, very high level, macro level. And the second requirement come from the project information requirement, or the project developer, where they consider more about the commercial purpose. Like they have a plan to sell this project. They want to using the information of project and helping them on the financial factor. They also have to deal with the government or authority submission. So they want the BIM project can help them to design approval or construction certificates. Because on the first section, I have introduced a governance BIM program in some country. When some country they do up the program from the government, that's we can able to submit the model at the like official format for submission. From that, government can give you some approval like construction certificates or design certificate or design approval something. So in this level, they also consider maybe you can use BIM on that purpose also. So after that, we already can create the EIR, but most of the case from the client, they also asking to consider with access information requirement. So what is access information requirement? So on the right side, I have using the one image to visualize what kind of access information requirement. Like in this is a one component. This is the chain systems, HVAC chain system, regular, what is this called? Rectangular chain system of the HVAC system. So when you select that, you're able to see some property of the component. Could be like design specification, could be like manufacturing, maintenance information like the time for maintenance, the replace time, or condition time, condition something. So they can be have many information, and this information is helping the operator, the facility management, can able to manage their access, their product, their building access or building facility informations. So this kind of information will be need to be clear. Need to be defined and clear from early, and from that they would convert that into the EIR. So from very early, from the stage number 1 and 2, owner already define what kind of properties of the components they need to have on their requirement. Then when you're developing the BIM model, you need to align with their requirement. So this is very important and very specified on the BIM requirement also. So the whole process, you're going to see it will be like this. From OIR, they will developing the PIR and AIR as an access information requirement. Combined of that all requirement, we have exchange information requirement. Most of people call this is the employer information requirement. From that, when we go into the design phase, this is the design and construction phase, we will developing the BIM model, and this is called project information model based on EIR. And when we finalize the design, when we construct that on the site, that model become a SView model. We call that model become a access information model, AIM. This is producing by consultant and contractor, and this is we're giving with the handover process to operator for maintenance of line of access. So this is the whole process how the information of model of the beams will be developing from the early stage of requirements information into the design to construction and handover. Basically, the ER will be combined of many information, many requirement information like this. This is one example how ER look like. I know that ER may not familiar with you guys at the designer or at the junior level. You may not see this document much, but this section tries to give you the rough idea, like concept idea, what's kind of being term on the BIM process. And from that, maybe on the future, if you have any change working on the project from your early stage, like maybe you are working not only for SMEC, you can represent SMEC to joining some meeting for early stage. You also know about what kind of document there and how do you using the document to developing the BIM project. So ER very important information, very important document actually. And that's is contain a lot of requirements from the client for different purpose. So then let's say on the tender, in the tender stage, when you receive a bunch, sorry, like in the invitation tender, we will receive a bunch of components where we can consider to making some quotation, making some calculation about how we want to win the bid, we win the projects. So what kind of component we're gonna receive at the one of the bidders, one of the competitors on the tender. So we're gonna receive the EIR. On the left side, the number one is the EIR on the requirement from the clients. We're gonna receive reference information of the project will be the drawing from the previous stage, like on the drawing, on the model, on the concept model or concept drawing on the previous stage for us to can calculate the size of the building. And then we also receive a lot of like templates. How do we respond? How do we respond to the clients? We need to have a template. And from that, we can combine and make this as a proper tender documents to submit to the client. Of course, we also provide some quantifications or some kind of information there in this comprehensive combined tender document. So the whole process from list appointed parties or appointed party, meaning like from SMEC, from SMEC at SJs, what we need to do is we have to do many kinds of work. One of them is we have to establish one kind of BIM execution plan. So now, based on the EIR. So the whole process is when we receive all the information from the client, we will consider, we will developing the BIM execution plan, developing the team, like we showing the team with the client, like how many people we have on the BIM team, what is their capability, what is the capacities, and we also planning how do we are mobilizing the team for the new project. After that, the client will consider the profile from the company who attend for that tender, and they will give appointments. So after the appointment have decided, the PEP will be developing on detail. So that is called PEP after appointments. We call post appointment. Come with this, we also have to provide some information delivery plans, and yeah. So I hope you guys got something. Do you have any comments or any questions? So this is the process.
All good.
So this is on the process. I want to summarize that. From EIR, we're gonna developing the pre-appointment BEP. So inside the pre-appointment BEP, we have executed summary. We have on track with the BIM teams, with the whole teams and their capability by giving the results, resume about every person on the team. We also giving us some strategy, how do we respond on the EIR with the project objective or aims. There's some strategy about federated model we consider as the BIM coordination, like combine on the model from different disciplines doing the federations. We also need to provide a high level metric responsibility where we provide who will take care which task, the component wise will be belong to which teams. We also showcase like what kind of standard we are following to do our organization have all standards or not? Just remember the BIM framework I mentioned earlier, right? Every organization should have their own standards or own kinds of uh, standards or templates. The last one will be the IT infrastructure. We try to tell the client that's what kind of information what kind of IT solution we are using. Okay, I think it's quite long for that process. I just want to ask a couple of questions to can make sure we all get that. I have a list here with the two questions on it. The first one, this question is not difficult like the first section is on. I already giving some answer, multi-answer for you to get selected. The first one is what would happen to the project if the stage number 1 and 2, number 1, 2, number 3 or further is 5 are not followed. The answer A could be like client we do not know what information they are paying to produce. Answer question number answer B. Answer B is supplier will not understand what the client requirements. Answer C is information produced may not compatible for the client to review or the next appointment to use, and D is on the appointments on the approach. So what do you think would be the right answer for the first question?
I see. I think it's D. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you all agree that if we do not following the say like that, client will do not know what is the information they are paying, right? Yeah, it's obviously they have to define very clearly what is information they want in EIR. And supplier, we are at the competitor of tender. We also need to understand what is the requirement from the client by EIR. I'm talking specific on the BIM, but the similar thing also happened with design or constructions. Information review may not compatible. Yes, of course, if we not define clearly like the plans, how do we try to achieve that? Client also do not know how they're using that information. So they need to understand that after we are giving them, they also can able to use that information, how do they use that. The question 2, who is responsible for the prepare the pre-appointment EP? A, appointed party or the owner. This appointed party, designer or contractors. C is appointed party to be the sub-consultant, and D is on appoint or E. I also giving E here with you guys haven't got that yet.
I think it's A.
I don't know. Maybe C.
Appointing party A.
A one person has giving A, right? Can anyone else giving A? Can you raise your hands? Who think is A? Who is A? Please can you raise your hand once? Okay, thank you. And who thinking B? Okay, no one think B. And who think that could be C? Oh, 2. Okay. Okay. So if you remember on the slide earlier, we have talked that there are 2 appointed party. One is the lead appointed party, and second is appointed party at the sub-consultants. They have been colored in different colors. And respond, and the tender respond, meaning like we respond what client wants. We actually giving them one quotations. So to respond that, we need to provide the one BIM execution plans before appointments. That's why we call pre-appointment BIM execution plan. And that's having color on the blue color, meaning the list appointed party, the person who tried to win the tender need to provide that. So that means this is the list appointed party. The answer should be B. So most of the okay, so most of the time SMEC or HJ, we are not because of our project is very big, like NEO, like airport, like metro rails. So we are working with the main contractor, and the main contractor usually is a main contractor, right? So they will build the building, and the most of the contract we are receiving is a design and build or EBC. So the EBC we only had the one person for the whole contract, and they owner reference usually refer giving the contract to the contractor. So SMEC and HJ, we are just appointed party, meaning we are sub-consultants or we are design. but we are not really a person who lead appointed party. Usually lead appointed party for the big project, just like DUONG, it should be contractor, main contractor. So main contractor, they gonna give the pre-execution plan pre-contract or pre-performance PEP. But in my case, in the project I'm working right now in airport project in Delhi, unfortunately, the main contractor is a partner. They do not have the BIM capability. They don't have capability to can understand or developing the BIM process on that project. So we are the SMEC, we are the sub-consultant, but we also helping the main contractor to dealing with on the BIM process, BIM implementing, BIM establishing on the project. So we representing for main contractor and giving the BIM execution plan pre-contract also. So some of the case, we are a consultant, design consultant, also helping on the BIM service, and sometimes we also helping with the BIM execution plan. So in this case, sometimes the answer C also correct. If the main contractor or least appointed party do not have a BIM ability, then appointed party and the sub-consultant also helping their terms. So B and C also correct, but legally, so B should be the main responsibility. So you got that right? Any question? Okay.
No.
So okay, so we summarize a little bit about EIR and BAB. So I have here one video. I think if you guys practice on BIM, maybe you also need to following some video from expert guy about BIM. This is the one of the very famous expert on BIM. They have the forum name B1 names. Let's see how do they find BIM. Sorry. Pardon? Sorry.
No, nothing.
Okay. So should we go for the video? It's helping a bit about how to define EIR and giving you a little bit more information about EIR. Should we go?
Yes.
Let me check about the system. Let me share it again. I think I forgot to share the audio. Okay, now we check the video.
Employers' information requirements might be a term you've heard.
Sorry.
Employers' information requirements might be a term you've heard banded around the office in relation to BIM, or it might be something you've been asked for yourself. But what does it actually mean? Well, within a building information modelling process, project teams create information models or data sets using graphical and non-graphical information, clearly structured and accurately linked, in a shared digital space known as a common data environment. That same concept is shown here within the British Standard Guidance document PAS 1192 Part 2. The level of graphical and non-graphical data within an information model builds as the project stages progress. Now, if you're a client, you've probably got a pretty good idea about the information you'd like to see from your project team during the delivery phase as your project's being designed and priced up. You've probably also got a pretty clear idea about the information you'd like to see at handover to be able to run your building and get the very best out of it. Employers' information requirements, or EIRs, are the document where those needs are set out. They need to be in place from the outset of the project so that your appointed team know the levels of service to provide you. Teams working without EIRs in place will struggle to ensure that the right information is issued at the right time to support decision-making. Worse, they'll be creating excessive amounts of information just for the sake of it, rather than efficiently focusing on what's needed. In simple terms, a typical EIR will be broken into three areas, covering technical, management, and commercial considerations. Technical will cover things like information format and file types, the minimum levels of definition at each stage, and the software platforms to be used for exchanging information. For clients in the public sector, this doesn't mean you have to endorse a particular vendor. It could be stating your preference for email or explaining the common data environment you will be using. Management will detail high-level roles and responsibilities, standards, data security, the key decision points, and the information to be available at each one. Commercial will include details on the client's strategic purpose, the defined deliverables, and a competence assessment for those looking to tender the project and demonstrate their ability to deliver the requirements of the EIR. The amount of detail within an EIR will depend to an extent on the organisation procuring the built asset and the complexity of that project. Now, there are a few people in our industry who like to use the lack of EIRs from their client as an excuse not to do BIM. Of course, client commitment is important, but we have to remember that not every client we deal with procure buildings on a regular basis. If we wait for every client in the world to approach the industry and ask for BIM in the right way with the right documentation, we're not going to get anywhere. A good approach is to use some plain language questions to help interpret what information your client needs and when, so that we, as the expert service providers they have approached, can work with them to develop an EIR. So we hope you found that video useful. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to check out our other content on the B1M, and if you like what you see, subscribe. You can find out more about EIRs and how to develop them at this link.
Okay, thank you, Boston. This is one platform is about technologies on our industries, the B1M. You also can refer more videos, more content from their channel. They're giving us quite a very comprehensive information about BIMs and how to developing the BIM projects also. So in the next ones, this is one example of what we have received on the our airport projects. We also helping the clients because they're also not really clear about what they want. So one of the process we are helping them is view of the process how to developing the EIR and developing another kinds of standard documents for that airport projects. As you see on the left side is the whole process how EIR having you to developing BAPs, execution plans, delivery plans, or task delivery plans. So there's a couple more things we can see on the later slide. I just give you one example. What is the information gonna be have there? The on the right side here, it will be the client will be asking for what kinds of evolving engagement from them side. What is their vision and what is they expecting on BIMs? Some of the requirement about the deliveries, like they need to want to see the information delivery plans or what kind of information they want, label of information, label definitions or label detail they want to have on the BIM model. On the third is about management, like what they may provide you with some templates about MIDPs or the project plans. On the fourth is all about technicals. They want to have more about the understand about the formats, the software, about the exchange formats, coordinates, and CD. The last one is commercial. It's not related much on BIM. It's about the commercial thing. So I still have two more questions. Again, we can also review that together. The first is second with the first question will be what is the key components on pre-appointments BB. A, that would be a list of BIM software or version to be used on the project. B is high level of BIM approach, include the proposal, the delivery plan, the delivery team, object, organization chart, BIM goals, objectives, information delivery strategies, responsibility metric. C is the detailed procedures for delivery plans, collaborations, modeling requirement, and class analysis. These is on a points. E also, I don't know. So what is the answer? Do you think this could be the correct one for the question is key component of pre-BEP? No, let's have some interaction, guys. There's no need to be writing zone. I just want to have some interaction on the sections. How do you think? So who is thinking A could be the good answer? Right, it means no, right? Okay, so how about B? B could be the very long answer. Probably the good answer. Who thinking B could be the answer? Not too easy one.
Will it C or D?
Sorry, someone saying. Just say what you thought also fine. Again,
It should, I don't know, maybe A?
maybe 8. Maybe the list of software and version to be used. You think that will be the key component? Okay, good. One person have giving his thinking. Any other people?
It could be D, all of the above. And the
Upon. One other person thinking like on the item mentioned here is a key components, other key components. Alex, you there, right?
Yes.
What is your answer?
All of the above.
On of them upon, on of the upon. Okay. Okay. So for the pre-PAP, we don't really care much about the software actually. I remember they have two kinds of PAP. One is pre-appointments and second is post-appointments. So in a pre-appointment, we don't really care much about the software actually, because that time you don't need to keep you don't need to keep on the answer on the quick answer, because you still can developing in detail on post-appointment party, meaning after you got the contract, you can give in the correct accurate answer later, like software you're going to use. That is the accurate answer, because after you decided, you cannot change. After you decide, like now, if you're choosing Revit 2023, it's the software you're going to use. So if you give that before you get the contract, then after you got the contract, you cannot change. Maybe after that you see like maybe 2023 have so many error. Then you thinking maybe you need to change on 2024 or 2025 is the latest version now. So they cannot change anymore because it's already recording on the BAP. So before the contract, you should not give any like absolutely answer or accurate answer there. What we want to give is a general answer to the response to the EIR response, and without focusing on the detail. So what we give on that time will be not the detail process. We're giving the high level of BIM approach, meaning not in the detail, not in the very detailed level. We're giving a general level, including the proposal of the delivery team, meaning you showcase your BIM team with the CV of the people in your team, how much experience they have, how much complex project they have delivery. From that, client can earn some trust from you. They can consider you are the capacity team. So the answer is we have to keep the high level BIM approach, include the proposal delivery team like the objects, BIM goals and objective, meaning like what we are setting to get achieve what the client want, EAR want, and information delivery strategy like the responsibility metric, like who will manage wood what, architecture who will manage wood portions, wood component architects is managed, what component is structure is managed, what component is belong to civil engineer, civil infrastructure. So this is a responsibility metric. The answer is B. Thank you, but thank you for giving some idea. So let's move to the question 2. What is the purpose for pre-PAP? A is a generic document that describes how to bidder use BIMs. B, direct response to the EIR, describing how big team will meet the BIM requirement on the project. C, you haven't noted yet.
B.
B. Okay, yeah, of course. It's only about focusing how do we answer EIR. Thank you. I think you got that. Cool. And if you want to know about how to set up the BEP, we can reference some document here. The first document I would like to recommend to all of you. Just,
Yeah, sure.
Hello? This
Yeah.
will start in the second session because it's now break for them.
Okay. Sorry, I think I'm over.
Okay, okay, problem. Okay,
Okay.
we catch up at 12:40 here. Real time,
After 40 minutes.
40 minutes.
40 minutes. Okay.
Okay, it is then 3 o'clock.
Mm.
Okay, bye, Binh.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you.
Are we on there? So we're waiting for people. Is
You
it
start,
on
then
before?
otherwise we might not complete, right? It is only 1 hour session now.
Okay, so just
Any of
carry on.
recording is there. Any of recording is there. If they have anything, doubts or something, they can clarify with their friends. How we are that.
So is no one there?
Mm.
Maybe because of this one is too much theories. It will not be interesting. Okay, we'll try to finish the sections and then we can maybe they can come back with the technical parts later. We say sorry because this one is very heavy on the theory. It's not about the practical knowledge, but it's okay. I think only one more theory section is left. We only have 3, and this is the second one. And after that, we have on around the technical sections. It's about about some process, but this one and the last one will be the end. So we are talking. We will stop in the execution plans. So some of you guys may heard us before, maybe never heard us. Because communication plan also a very important part. If you're currently working on NEOMs, you may have to read that communication plan when you first join the project. Yes, communication plan is mentioned a lot about the plannings, about what is the timeline for submissions, what is the process you need to following, what kind of information formats you need to change, what is the infrastructure for system like IT system, software you are able to use. So the process how to build up the communication plan is shown on screen. We can reference some standards or some kinds of guideline documents. For the first ones on the left side, you can see I'm showing one of the very popular documents about communication plans released by one university, I forgot the name, Pennsylvania something, US. And the second document we also can reference is internal documents from HJ Supernatural. We have developing for the BIM manual, communication plan templates, BIM standards. Yeah. So all kind of this standard we also can reference from internal our internal HJ. So again, in HJ, you can try to access on this document from the HJ's academics portal. They are sharing this standard of supernatural there. Short introduction, and this is summary. So on that we have discussion showing here with the timelines. So remember, here I am developing by product, and of course they will giving some specific requirements and templates in that documents. Proposals, meaning like the person tried bidder, the person haven't got the project yet, they need to provide the pre-BEB. And after they finish that, we got the appointments. We need to developing post BEB with more detail. And developing the post BEB is may not only the disappointed party, they need to have the incorporate upon the parties, meaning like they need to have the incorporate of the sub-consultants, main consultants, contractors, and then that's BEB will be using during the whole process of productions and close out. So BEB, you have to consider this is the template, this is standards, this is all the process, the big plans. And this could be the live documents, meaning that they keep updating to different, if any change happen on the project, they need to be reflected on BEB first, and on the stakeholder will come in to join and read that BEB to understand the requirement, understand the setup. So if you're working on the NEOM right now, I suggest you try to find NEOM BEB. I also have. If you want, I also can share with you, even I'm not really working with the NEOM, but I also aware about NEOM BEB. So if you right now working on NEOM, I suggest please check on that document first, understand what is the requirements, what is the standard you need to follow. And they also mentioned about the timeline, the milestone you need to follow. This is very important. It's similar like project delivery, master planning, like from the our BMO. It's similar like that. So we talk a little bit more. Now we're moving to the next another items. MIDP, Master Information Delivery Plan. This is the one thing inside the BEP communication plan. Of course, it's a post BEP, not the pre-BEP. Like after we got the contract. So before we can able to go to developing or making the MIDP, the first document we need to develop will be MBDT, another terms. This MBDT is standing for Model Production Deliverable. With Model Production Deliverable is table. This is the kind of table where we define every building components. Building component, then we have to refer into the one classification system. Such as like we are referring here to the uniform mass. In uniform mass, they divide the model in at least 3 levels, meaning you can developing more level, but at least you have 3 levels. Such as, I'm not sure you're able to see the screen or not. But in the screen, the first is the building sidewalk level. And inside that, you have the group elements with the site preparation, some kind of exercise activities or building components, and then you have individual components. So this kind of component we have to list down. This is the building physical component, not the digital. It's a physical building component. And we have, what we do is we have to list down with each of elements who will take the responsibility. As you see the color, like the blue color with the design teams, design consultant, design 1, 2, 3. So we have the on component belong to the architecture design. You have the architecture name there. This is the building physical component, meaning like the responsibility matrix. Element from the architectures, they need to have the name architect team there. And they also mention the level of detail, level of LOD, and level of LOI, level of information. You may heard about LOD before. I may ask, have you ever heard about LOD?
He's asking LOD.
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 Yeah.
No.
Okay. Okay. So, very different with the first section. First section we have on experience people. The second section people not familiar with much with the beams. Okay, so LOD is a level of developments or level of definitions, but you can understand that's like the how details of the component about the geometries and about the non-graphics information. So they have two kinds. They have two kinds of information we need to care. One is LOD. In this LOD, we consider as a geometry, and LOI, level information, we consider about the properties. Like remember the one example I showed you earlier about access information requirement, where the one HVAC component showing the one table of property and the geometries on the other side. So meaning like every component we have to define the responsibility matrix, like who is in charge of developing that components on digital, and what kind of level of geometry they will be provided, or how much information they want to be to provide. As you can see here, there are two columns. One is LOD, one is LOI. And this will be have a timeline of the project at the top. You see, you may not be able to see, but I expand it here. That's the stage will be divided into different stage of project. We can reference to the RIPA. RIPA is the process standards of UK, right? In the RIPA, they divide project into the 7 stages. So each of the stage you have to define like who take the responsibility to creating the elements, what kind of level detail, what kind of how much detail of geometries, how much detail of information for each stage, such as like this component. Early, they have been created by the blue color, meaning like design. But after that, they will be provide after stage number 4 or 5, they will be created or take responsibility by different person, by different stakeholder. In this case, the contractor of contractors. So meaning like we have to define very clearly like who will take the responsibility on which phase and how much detail of the components will be achieved. And that's after we have an MBDT, meaning like deliverable table, or we can consider the responsibility matrix, the metric of responsibility. So after that, we can think we have a list of elements, we have a list of model with responsibility. Now we're making the plan about the timeline. When do we have the model ready? So actually the MIDP Master Information Delivery Plan is created by many different TIDP. So TIDP is the same like list of model component, list of the element, list of the outputs, what timeline for the outputs. But this is come from different team. For example, architect, you are giving the one schedule, the timeline to delivery on the architect components. Structure giving a different timeline with different schedule. mechanicals giving different, electrical giving different, and combine all of them, we have the one master. So this is the planning to deliver the digital model or BIM model. So on detail, each of team, meaning architect, structure, or MEP, they will developing themselves one small table. Inside that could be a component wise, drawing wise, but we have to define with the this much information like the name of the file, the name of the model. Is this have dependent or independence with another files? What kind of level it needs to be have? Level needs to be have to be like the scale, the format, the notes, the type of files, drawing or 3D model, and then the timeline, durations and timeline. In this, you can see that week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. What is the week we're going to giving this kind of information? So this is the TIDP. So all of them will helping to create the MIDP. This is about the planning. So to understand about the process, you have to view the perspective at the BIM, at the project managers. So a lot of information here. This look like this is the work from the project manager, not the engineer. But to understand the whole comprehensive BIM process, you may need to consider you take the view from the project managers. So this is the one kind of work about the plannings, when you can able to giving the information on time or what time is good to giving. Now we go into the 1 weeks, only one, no worry. So I have one question like, what is responsibility metric required for? Remember what is the responsibility metric, right? That is a table we talked about earlier. So like the answer A is to provide a detailed schedule on the deliverable to be produced on the project and when they will submit to appointing party or mini clients. Provide a high-level schedule showing the roles, responsibilities of each tasking for elements of the BIM model and project deliverable. C is on the point, and this is don't know. Could you give me some interaction on? I know it's very boring, but we'll try it.
Option B.
Yeah.
B, huh? Yeah, correct. They're very accurate. And B is the one. So I guess we got that. We got some idea now. Okay, so we're talking to the last one. I think it's very end now. CD is standing for Common Data Environments. So if you remember on the introduction of the state number 1, I have mentioned that CD have been created from early of design. CD have been developing by client from before the tender, before the opponents. CD already developing at that time. But some of people right now who practicing on BIM, they a bit confusing about CD because when they say CD, they just simply understand that is the BIM 360. It is not actually correct. CD is a big platform, and BIM 360, the solution for Autodesk is just one of them. It's one small part inside the CD. CD defined by ISO 19650 is a green source of information for any given project or access for collecting, managing, and disseminating its information container to manage process. Information container meaning like model.
I found this on the web.
Information container is meaning like the 3D model, or you can understand that's the BIM model. So in this definition, we can break down the 3 points. The first point is this is a great source of information for any given project or access. The second point we need to understand, we need to keep in mind that this definition is saying CD is for collecting, managing, and disseminating its BIM model. The last one is this could be managed through the project life cycle, through the own process. So CD had to build up from early stage, from the stage number 1, from the stage that's only client working, no consultant, no contractor, no vendor, only owner. When they developing the project, they already have to build the CD to help them manage the data, project data. And in the stage number 5, where we already finished the appointments, we need to mobilizations, meaning like we set up the team, we set up the project production teams. On the team will be gatherings and starting with the production work. On that preparation, we have the first active exercise we have to do is we set up the project technology and CDE. So this is not a CDE. This is not a CDE. One CDE on the early stage helping client to manage the documents, manage the early 2D documents or just only tech documents. But the CDE on the stage number 5 is considered as the CDE have capability to working with the BIM or BIM model or model-based CDE. So this CDE is could be like BIM 360. So the CDE is incorporate between different kinds of CDE. The CDE for the client and CDE for design or constructor. The idea of CDE is like in the traditional way, when they share it, when the stakeholders sharing the information or exchange of information, they do not have any platform, so they can share it directly between two stakeholders. So that can get that could be bring a lot of issue, a lot of question, like they don't know who owns what, and they don't know which version they are using. But when we can come up with a one platform, so this can helping the all the stakeholder can access into the one single source of truth. The play, we always get the same information, latest informations, and able to checking the information. So CD is come up with that idea. And again, when we compare between the traditional and model phase, when we see like before, traditional, we are laid down on the 2D drawing. With 2D drawing, you're not able to developing more, meaning after one stage, you rarely using the drawing again. You have to developing another drawing for another purpose, like another submissions. You rarely to developing the drawing into detail. You just have to developing everything again. Like the types of rework, but with the model-based delivery, you can keep developing the model time by time. So you need to have one place to can store it on the model there. So this is the way we are using CDE for. At least with the perspective view of design consultant like SMEC-SACA, what we see CDE is a one platform that allow us to share the model between different stakeholder, different design design consultant. Like architect can sharing their model, structure can sharing their model, civil 3D can civil infrastructure can sharing their model, or even FEAC, building system, they sharing their model. And from that platform, we're able to implement some deep functions like 4D for construction programs, flood detection, 3D, 5D would control the cost, and safety, like after the construction, we can think about access management. So that CD can also moving on to the next stage after construction. But what is the main core? Sorry, but CD they have some characteristics. One of them is the workflow inside the CD. CD not only like the play, we also able to doing some workflow up there. So let's take a look. Like this is the information we need to we go to producing on the project. We have the graphical data, like we have 3D model. We have non-graphical data, like the schedule, database, and we have some documentations, like the drawing, like specification, design reports. So all the information is going to be sharing, right? Because this is the final, this is the information we are working, and also the final information we are sharing with the, or submit to the client, sharing to another stakeholder, but this is all the data we are need to working. So what with this, we have to have a space. The space could be defined as the 3 error, the QIP, meaning like work on in the progress, the data, the space we are still working. The space or sharing for exchange between different stakeholders, like we mentioned earlier. The space we can share between design teams, architect team, structure team, infrastructure team. We need to have another space. We have another space for publish. It's using only to submit the clients, to submit to the approval teams. So this is the main space we're going to work on with this much data. So from that, we understand what is the workflow for, then we developing the structure of folder. The folder structure will come after that on the platform. So this is one example workflow. The task team will be any design team. They're going to work on the space of working on in the progress, the UIP. After they're working, they come with some kinds of work, finish some kinds of work. They're going to authorize for sharing, meaning share into another space for sharing. And this space, one project information manager will check it. and make sure this all information is qualified enough to can be shared. If not, they will reject and go back to the UID state. If this all looking good, they will share it to the employer or the representative or employer. And of course, they are doing a second layer of checking. If this is good, they will recording that this is official information, hopeless. Like this could be the official for coordinate, could be official for approval, could be official for authorized information like contractual. So this is the one workflow, sample workflow, how the CD will be set up on this workflow. In ISO 19650, they also mentioned that this and include with the one more space for types. This is for recording. Like every design state, we need to have one space recording after the state close. The whole process of ISO 19650 also a similar thing. We have a 2 layer of checking for every state. From the working progress, we have 2 layers. One is the CAD compliance check. Second is the engineer check. The same thing happens with the share space. We have a design approval check, then we share it. But one more thing we need to consider with CD, that's naming. On CD, we have to make sure the naming is correct because on CD, we have to think about metadata. Metadata is mean the way you naming that, the way you placing the file or naming the folder structure can able to understand what is the information inside that file. So to define the one metadata, we have to list 7 fields, container names, descriptions, status, revisions, authorities, submission, and container classification system. From that 7 space, we can able to define a folder structure, the namings, and some other attribution of the file, like revision, purpose, and the date issue. So almost on the solution right now, IT solution right now on the market, like BIM 360, can able to provide this 4 information, like when you create a BIM 360 folder, when you upload any files on BIM 360, you're able to giving the name for that. If you upload for the second time with the same name, you're able to see the version there. And every time you can put, every file you have to have the right to giving the descriptions, purpose, and then you're able to checking the day you update or you modify. The 2 more you can define, 2 more fields you can define by the folder structure. So this is one example, and some IT solution out there can helping you up the CD for design and construction. We can consider like SharePoint, ProjectWise from Bentley. From Bentley also have, and BIM 360 from Autodesk. Another we can consider as the Econex. Of types, they have different types of CD. So one type is the called single project, meaning like if your project is a big project on the horizontal wise, such as like neo hexagons. Hexagon is a kind of project on the horizontal wise, right? Pardon me, but what kind of neo project you guys working right now, Steve? May I ask for the name?
Oxygen.
Yeah.
Hexagon. So Hexagon, I would consider that project is a one horizontal project. So with the horizontal project, not like vertical, horizontal, you have to divide the project into small project, right? So this could be like project 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inside one big project. So for the type of project 1, you're able to can divide every project have one single CD. Every project working on a different platform. The challenge is if this project is working like this. So first, the benefit is the benefit to working like this. That every project don't need to wait for the process of setup because that will be taking longer, very long time for setup on the project in the one single platform. Every project can running simultaneously and separately, independently. But the disadvantage that every project may build up in a different way. So the final information, the final product will be not aligned, going to be different. And it's costly. Of course, if you're running different project in different platforms, this could be very difficult to, it's very costly actually. And also, it may have one challenge like if the end of the day, the client want to combine all the information into the one big platform, that would be a challenge for them because all the project having accomplished and having keep in a different platform. The second type of CD is, I was talking on the right side first, huh? That's all the project will be placed on the one platform. This is the best way to do for any project, no matter big project or small project. But unfortunately, right now, because of some limitations of the IT solution, we don't have any one cloud-based solution that have comprehensive feature for every stakeholder. Like some tool, some IT solution is strong on some specific field, but not good for another field. Such as like you see, Econnect is very good on project management, for project tender process management, but they're not good on 3D model collaborations. Like they do not have any support for the 3D modelings, or do not have support on the 3D model formats. Another side, like BIM 360 is very strong on BIM 360 for Autodesk is very strong on the collaboration 3D supporting, but do not have much tool feature to support the project management on the document controlling. So they're not good on that field. So on the market right now, we do not have any like one single solution with the comprehensive features, comprehensive for every stakeholder. So we come up with the middle one. The middle one is the missing between different platforms. Like design consultant, they can use to developing their model in different CD. The owner, they may have different platform for their CD, but the CD have a capability to incorporate on the final input, or even can sync simultaneously, can sync in between their informations. So let's say this is one CD that's SMEC doing right now for the airport project we are doing. So for design and construction, we are using the platforms to helping the storage and develop creating the data, storing the data, and developing or exchange the data by ACC, Autodesk Construction Cloud. From the client side, from the project management or client representative, they are using Econex. It's a separate one. It's very strong on the project management and tracking the data, visualize the data, or even after construction, they also can keep using Econex for operation facility management after the construction. So it's very strong on that field, but not strong much on the design or construction field. So we utilize the features, the strongest of every CD solution in different way, and we try to comply and singing together. So comprehensively, if you consider what is CD, that will be the combines of many different small parts of the data storage database platform. So we don't have one comprehensive CD for every stakeholder or every zone of work. They have a different IT solution, but at least they can able to working with this criteria, like able to set up the workflow. The workflow that's WIP, share, archives, approval that I just mentioned earlier. They need to have the connections. They're able to set up the API to can connect between different platforms. They can able to set up the access right, meaning some stakeholder can access in the specific platform, and they have to make sure the security, make sure on the security setup. And the last one is they need to have the naming standard, the metadata, to can able manage the information on the file. So this is the one theory definitions. Again, we have the WISP. This one could be the final WISP I remember, I think. And no more WISP, so don't worry, don't worry. We will just only have one WISP. Final WISP. For the first questions, I would want to ask, what is the purpose of having CD in a place? A, this is enable for all project participants to have a shared and organized collaboration platform to producing on the project information, graphics, non-graphics, and documents. These are upon it should be on the final that we go to see what C, BIM standard are required one to be in place. D is due to producing to produce and coordinate the 3D model on this. So which one do you think is the purpose for having CD in place? A. Yeah, I think it's very easy, right? A, correct. Two, who can host a CD for the project organizations? Like we have a kind of CD for organizations. not only for project. Most of the CD is for a project base, but some CD is also using for the whole organization. Like we have a CD on HA, but who can host a CD for project organization? A is client, meaning a hosting party. B is supplier, meaning like we list a hosting party. C is a third party, meaning like consultants or appointed party. D is on form.
All of the above.
Pardon?
Should be all of the above. B.
It should be on the phones. It's also correct, but in the practical way. I mean, in the literally, it's not wrong, but in the practical ways, in the realities, it's only client, because in the end of the day, they want to have everything, any information. So to holding on information, they should set up the CD by themselves. So in the end of the day, when on the project participant leaving the project, like the contractor leaving our project, design consultant leave out the project, the information or the model or the being on type, the graphics information, non-graphics information or documents is still there on CD. So it should be belong to the client for help them controlling the information easily. And even after the constructions, they still have a very long phase of operation. So it's better for them to holding the CD. This is I would say this is like a practical, not like the reality how it's happened on the real project. So I would say the on upon is also the correct one, because no one stop you to developing your own CD. Client you also can have, contractor you also can have, and design consultant you also can have. But in the realities, I see all the project having set up by clients, and they will taking care of the city for whole project life cycle. And the last one, number 3, what is the order of stated workflow? A, the QAB first, then you have share, the publish, and a kite. A kite. B, approval, publish, a kite. C, share, publish, a kite. D, share, the QAB, publish, and a kite.
Who's the flow is asking?
A.
A.
Okay, yes, correct. It's not difficult. Ace, only ace. Okay. I think that's all for today. We have go through many kinds of BIM. I was sharing the last slide. Today I give you this PDF of this presentation. They also have a couple more topics, but they're not able to go in that much deep level because this is very long. It's have very long knowledge to discussion there. So I just try to summarize what we have today, and I think you also can try to discover more knowledge after that. You stop sharing. Oh, sorry. The key. Sorry. Before to go into the answer, the key learning point for CD. That's CD is a system for collaborative creations and manage information and project design. The key component of CD is many, on link to the project objective and requirement. Consider to set up the CD setup should be lit by the project roles, requirements, and the taking time to develop and test. Important the project team on board, which could be not able to deliver unless they are shown how and list of team is different. When to know the project is ready to begin design productions. On the previous day must be promised for the project and begin with control. So this is a couple more things. So I don't think I have enough time to can take you go through on the other parts of PEP. You can something like standards procedure. So I'm going to share you the document. You can review that. If you have any questions, you can let me know. You can try to arrange the time to discussing more if you interesting. But I would say this is a very heavy on the like BIM knowledge theories. So it may not interesting much. Also have a couple more words on there to helping you guys understand. I'll try to consolidate your knowledge. Yeah. So I try to summarize on what we have flown so far. on the final slide, then we can close. So it's similar like the slide I showed you on the process of EIR VB, but this is a documents. Some of the documents that we need to remember. Some kind of BIM term and document we should remember when we're working on the BIM projects. On the early stage before tender, we have the documents like EIR. That is combined of OIR, PIR, and AIR. You can checking this keyword on the internet to find out more information. Then after tender, we have the response stage. In the response stage, we have to developing a couple of documents. One of them is the pre-contract, pre-appointment, PEB, with the general idea how do we implement the BIM on the project. No need to be at very detailed. Beside that, we also have a couple more documents I did not mention, but you also can check like the risk register, mobilization plans, and the tender response. This is helping combining into the tender response with the quotation on the something to help you fitting the tender stage. After you got the project, you become a little appointed party. You also need to developing another standards, another documents like post appointed party, BEB, responsibility matrix. Remember that one, responsibility matrix, and MIDP. MIDP is making by many TIDP, and then you have some appendix, contract, some other documents. And when you moving to the mobilizations, you also keep developing the documents like responsibility matrix when you have more stakeholder or participant of the project comes. So you have to developing more on the responsibility matrix. You also keep updating your MIDP, the master information delivery plans, to adjust any change on the project. You need to adjust on this document first to checking the project. Even in the end, in the deliverable on the submission time, you're also developing some kind of checklist, QC checklist, QC process, aligning with like help you to verify, validate with the EIR, with the document you have received before tender, and make sure on this document are having a live, and then you can flow out with the learning lessons. So this is one of the workflow how BIM and the BIM term have been used on the project stage. You also can try to find out more information from internet. And here I have keep the link for the high resolutions of this slide. Okay, so that's it for today. Do you guys have any questions or any comments, feedbacks on today's presentation, today's sections? Then let me know.
Thank you. Thank you, Binh.
Okay.
Can anyone summarize today's topic? Then someone will summarize
Oh,
today's
Good.
topic.
Cool.
I have
Just
given the choice to I think. Who?
Brad, your cross side, it's hard to.
Remember. But the main topic you can tell, right? Like he was telling, first
We
event.
covered the roles of different parties, appointing party, lead party, and
Where is that? Yeah. Correct. So this, you can just tell, how it was. No?
no worry, guys. Maybe it's a big strain for you, especially like you are
Okay.
just
Uh,
you very
Because
good.
it's new for us, so it's hard to summarize the topic. I think
Okay, maybe when
we
they
need
start
to
working.
maybe
I think
after a while, or we can.
Just after a while, you will see this kinds of term will be appearing on your project many times. Then from that, you can try to like maybe you can work directly, or maybe you can review again on my on my sections. Or maybe at that time you have the questions. It's actually good when you have the question on your book, and you always can come up again here, and we can try to discuss more on your particular case. Yeah. But
Yeah.
obviously, if you're working on BIM, you will see this kind of term will be flying around you a lot on special neon project. It's a very big project and delivery on BIM, obviously. So you may see this kind of term will be appearing around you for the working. And yeah, let's see. Like after a while, you will more understand it.
Exactly.
Okay, I hope today's section maybe it's a bit heavy on theory. Do not have much technical knowledge to can feel interesting. But I hope this can have something stay on your mind. And if in case you can have any chance on your project, you see you have the questions, just bring it back. I'm always here to helping you to go through and improving your capability, your knowledge, your understanding about the BIM process. Thank
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you. Bye. Binh.
you. Bye-bye.